that was, yeah. What's up everybody, welcome to the channel. I am Nick, and today we're going to be reviewing the latest shark thriller on Netflix called Thrash. Now, a couple days ago, I rewatched Jaws because I'm watching all the Spielberg movies up to Disclosure Day, and I want to spread that out and not binge 40 movies at once. But rewatching Jaws, I was still in the mood for some shark action because, like, let's be honest, you watch Jaws, you want to watch it again. So I wanted some more shark things, so seeing this release immediately, I was just like, absolutely I'm down to give Thrash a chance. I mean, massive hurricane, big shark attacks, why not kick play on this thing, right? So besides the sharks though, what does Thrash have to offer in its story? So the movie follows different groups of characters during a Category 5 hurricane in an Atlantic coastal town, as they all must survive the destructive nature of this hurricane. The most unexpected part is a group of sharks in the water. Now, if you love shark movies, I'm sure you're going to get some enjoyment out of this movie. The shark attacks are fun enough, they have some elements of surprise, and if jump scares are more your thing rather than like the big, like, non-stop tension thing, if that's more of your thing, I'm sure you're going to enjoy at least some of this movie with all the shark stuff. For me though, I have some issues beyond a lot of this movie. Now, I will say that some of the situations that they are able to create in the midst of all of the chaos going on, the way they add to it with what the characters are going through, I think is an interesting idea and premise what they do. So they have a woman who is pregnant and about to give birth during the hurricane, but add in the sharks where she has to go into hiding. The sharks are very close to her and she's about to give birth and she has to swim away and everything. Like, that's a very interesting situation to kind of put in this shark movie to kind of raise the stakes a lot more for the characters. Then you have a different group of kids who are trying to build a bomb to defend themselves from the shark while, you know, everything is just flooding around them and all that stuff. So, like, there's some interesting ideas floating around here, but I don't think they were able to create enough tension amidst all of this chaos. There should be nail-biting tension in all 90 minutes of this movie, and the first 20 or so minutes is mainly just, like, setting up who these people are and showing what the hurricane is doing. Honestly, I don't think the setup was very good for the movie. I think it ramps up a bit once we start to see the sharks and everything, beyond them just being, like, hinted and implied and everything. But once we start getting some of the action, I think the movie gets a little bit better. But as a whole, I just think the lack of tension is a huge disruptor for this movie being enjoyable on, like, my end. Like, we set up all of these interesting situations, you know, childbirth in the midst of a hurricane and shark attack, but I just don't think there was enough tension where when the movie ends, or really when the shark attacks end and we just start going more into, like, the calmness of, well, not really calm, but when those parts end, you're just kind of left feeling a little disappointed, like, that's it? We just get a little bit of a dose of, like, the shark attack, and, like, jump scare and everything, and, like, element of surprise, but we're just kind of like, that's it? Really? Like, there's some entertaining moments in there with the shark attacks, but I just don't think the tension really delivered where quiet rise into the situation, big, like, shark attack, holy crap, what just happened, and then just kind of ends, like, we don't even really get that rise of tension too. So, I mean, watching Jaws, like, literally the other day probably, like, raised my expectations a little much for a Netflix blockbuster here, but, like, even then, like, I just wanted more tension here. It just didn't really feel like there was any. And there also just isn't a lot of substance to the story itself, and I do think a lot of the lack of tension to this movie is more towards the filmmaking of, yeah, we're just doing jump scares rather than rising into the tension and everything, and just not really letting it, like, go into it. It was more just like, boom, and done with the shark attacks. But I also do contribute the story to a lot of the issues here as well, where I will just use Jaws as an example here. The characters in Jaws, you are, like, very much caring for them. We get a lot of backstory, and, like, there's a lot of suspense over you don't want anything bad to happen to them here. You feel sympathy for the characters in this movie a little bit, but you just don't really care enough. You're not gravitating towards them. There's not enough depth in, like, their stories and everything. So I do think that's a lot of the lack of tension, where the story itself just does not give you enough reason to really be all in on the concept, and you're more just kind of waiting for the shark to come up again for a jump scare that you're kind of just wanting to have happen. And the shark attacks, the way that they deliver them, just, again, I wanted a rise into the sharks coming. Like, here they are, like, here's the situation. To me, it just felt like jump scare all over, and it felt like the sharks came not when it felt like, okay, the tension's coming. It felt more like the sharks were thrown in there because they hadn't been in there for a while. Like, when I put up a visual on the screen, because I just didn't put a visual up on the screen for a while. Now, I have seen some reviews of the film where people are at least getting some fun out of it, and I do see where it is possible to enjoy the movie. Again, if this is your thing, go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you. If you love shark movies and you're excited to watch this and you enjoy it, I love that. Like, I want more shark movies like this, so if you enjoy it, go right ahead. And I do think the movie is short enough where it says it's like 90 minutes, but when you factor in credits and the fact that, like, it's more like 85, 86, or whatever, like, it's just clocking under 80 minutes, so the pacing itself, I think, is fast enough. So for the amount of time and the pace that it's going at, and with the jump scares that they do that are sometimes effective, I do see a way where it is enough where turn your brain off, you like this kind of movie, you'll at least enjoy it more than people who are just kind of like, okay, what is going on? What are we doing? Netflix, what are we doing here? But I can definitely see where it is enjoyable, where it could be a guilty pleasure film. Now, before I get into my final thoughts, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. When you like the video, a clapperboard will appear, and when you subscribe, you get more of my content. Thrash is trash, simply put. There's not enough suspense in the shark attacks for anything to feel earned, and all the potential of situations like giving birth in a hurricane and shark invasion at the same time just feel a bit wasted. It's a lame attempt at a shark film with zero substance to the story, making it another lazy Netflix thriller without the thrill. So my final score for this movie is going to be a 40%. I wish I could have enjoyed this movie more because I like these shark movies. The problem is I just didn't feel enough tension to really draw me in. I've seen some reviews with people like actually enjoying the movie and having fun with it, and I definitely see where you will enjoy it if you like this kind of movie, or if you're just wanting to turn your brain off, like jump scare like filled thing. I can see where you would enjoy this movie, at least for like one watch, just a guilty pleasure shark film. I can see where that is definitely a thing, but for me, I just didn't really get anything out of it, and I'm probably going to forget a lot of it by tomorrow. So thank you all for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed this video more than I enjoyed Thrash. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.